when to tell the truth. So I'm doing it for everybody because I'm not afraid to get blacklisted and you come at me all day. No, I am Filmmaker Berserk, and this is our brand, and we totally understand your story.
Yeah, it's a great story. So this would be 1982. I was the Star Trek series, and I'm now going to make special sound effects for...
Hello everybody, I am Krista Grotte Saxon, the creator of Filmmaker Berserk, and this was born out of the psychosis I experienced after investing in a $1.3 million budget film in Hollywood. So I never ever suggest doing a budget that high because there's no need for that now with all of the emerging technology, the existing technology. It's just not necessary. So that's where I started. I started here 24 years ago actually with Andy Lolino with our first short film, Filthy, and I played a character named Pussy. That was a super exciting adventure, and that got me hooked on making movies forever. And I also got spoiled because of the professionalism, the fun we had on set, and it was just, you know, all out independent filmmaking at its best. So time went on, and I continued to work for like 24 years in making film. 7 years ago, I got a team of investors together, and we all put all our money where our mouth is, and we invested in this movie. We hired Oscar-winning sales agents who were producers turned sales agents, as well as Oscar and Emmy-winning acting team, such as Bruce Dern, two-time Academy Award nominee, and Gil Bellows, Emmy winner from Shawshank Redemption. So we had a wonderful cast. However, I went through the most intense devastation I could have ever faced in learning about how the industry and the business truly works. And it's absolutely nothing that I thought it was for 24 years. I believed, as well as most filmmakers that I have ever worked with, and we're right to believe that you go in, you make a movie, and then you seek out a distribution deal post-production, or even during production. But Filmmaker Berserk teaches filmmakers how to reverse engineer the process so that you understand the deliverable requirements, what is needed for delivery, in knowing that everything is still on you. Even marketing your movie, still on you. There was a woman I had spoken to who said, but Krista, I don't really need to learn about distribution. I self-distributed on Amazon. I got a $100,000 budget for my movie, put this movie on Amazon, and was told that, she said, I'm making revenue, so I'm doing good. So I questioned that and said, okay, so if you got $100 grand to make this movie, that investor is looking to recoup that money if you want to continue making movies or have good relationships in the industry. So what happened was, I looked at the film online on Amazon, and there was 11 reviews. Majority of the reviews would come from family and friends because that's first up, and that's also what distributors look for. They look to bank on that family and friends and your cast and crew that are involved in the movie upon the premiere of that movie. Then they take that money and then they say bye-bye and go on to the next one while charging you a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 marketing fee. So there's a lot to be learned within the industry and in how the business actually works with the streaming platform payouts, distribution, how to find a reputable sales agent, attending the AFMs, the resources we provide to find these people that are important to establish these good relationships so you can get a return. And we're talking, if you're making a movie for even $10,000, you want to recoup that money. So the most important thing, obviously, is doing conventions like this, building your fan base on your own, no matter who you distribute with. It's on you. We learned a lot in this process in investing over $1 million in this, and how distributors work, how the sales agents work, and as well as, with this woman, going back to that story, I said, did you get the return, the $100,000 you're saying? never answered me, obviously not. So that is not a success if you do not recoup the budget plus something. So with Filmmaker Berserk, we take you through the entire process from creating a pitch deck that gets the check, where to find potential investors, understand what's required for delivery, what's required for quality control process. There's a whole quality control you must go through, and distributors bank on charging you guys that. And then they never pay out, nothing. So I have a friend, I did a movie, William Forsythe and Bill Goldberg. We had a great cast, but my friend was the investor of that film, and he went with the same distributor, and to date he hasn't seen a penny. So there's a few tricks that we teach in Filmmaker Berserk on how to utilize the distribution, how to obtain global distribution, and use it to your benefit. Because it's all about the indie filmmakers, and we're tired of seeing the gatekeepers of the streaming platforms, which are being purchased now by all the studios own and run the streaming platforms. So they're pushing out independent film more and more, which is why Amazon will pay you like a penny per hour, or you have more of the AVOD distribution models, which really doesn't pay much of anything. So you want to create other revenues around your movie. Being seen and building that fan base who are emotionally invested into you. And I know a lot of my friends here, filmmakers, who have done just that. They deserve the best that an industry has to offer, because nobody should have to work for free. We put our life and heart and soul into our creative endeavors. And so that's where Filmmaker Berserk came from. I think I was just going to give an introduction, and I ended up going on this whole story. I'm so passionate about it, but I can't help it. It's a lot that I'm super excited about it. I've been working for a year on it, and obviously this was born from pure devastation. Because I believed in all my friends. I believed in everything that we were doing. I believed in what we were told. And it was such a slap in the face, and my rage is not a healthy thing sometimes, but I stepped back and said, you know what? I'm going to turn this into something positive in a way that I will dive right in. I'm going to go meet distributors around the country. I did that. I spoke to investors, not just the filmmakers, the investors, because oftentimes the writer and the director don't have the access to any of the reporting that are from the distributors. So they say, yeah, my movie made money, but really the investor hasn't shared that information. And it's really easy to get blacklisted when you tell the truth. So I'm doing it for everybody because I'm not afraid to get blacklisted. They can come at me all day long. I am Filmmaker Berserk, and this is our brand, and we totally understand your story, and that's my slogan. Any questions?
Wow, that was intense, yes. And I'm assuming you have a booth out there somewhere, yes.
I have my partner, Gold Brick, over here. And if you guys want to see us at the booth, and you can scan the QR code and follow us on social for a free cookie. And we've got some t-shirts over there. Everything we do, we're giving away. I just really want to get the word out about this. The portal is a great big portal, and it does consist of all the books from our movie. It has every contract agreement from I-9s to locations so that people know what they need. It has all the legal delivery, all of the distribution contracts. I'm sharing from Lionsgate to Vision Films, and I don't care. These are the contracts I receive, and I want filmmakers to see this so that they know exactly what they're getting into and just how scary this industry can be. And when you have a whole process and a laid out plan before you, there are ways to succeed. And I'm working on my documentary, Daughter of an Outlaw, based on my father, who I recently lost. And this is going to be I'm using my whole program, and I'm going to take everybody behind the scenes and show through social media little clips as we go through the creation of this documentary and what's required, so that we're going to self-distribute on this one and really build our following. And I believe in guerrilla marketing, getting out there and being with the people. And yes, you agree, thank you. And being with the people, and because it becomes a family, whenever you make a movie, and this is what it's all about as an artist. So
That's awesome that you're providing this service that's out there for independent filmmakers. to take advantage of, because I know so many of us, we go out there with our cameras and our friends, we want to make a movie, and then it like tears friendships apart, because it's like, who's in control, and like we've all gone like, money's come out of our pocket, and we're like, what do we do? And it makes you very bitter towards the industry because money is involved. And as creatives, like, it shouldn't be the norm to be a starving artist. Like, art is what inspires people, art is what makes difference in the world, but having funding is also super important, but not in the ways where funding people will take advantage and warp the stories. Because I've had so many people that I've spoken to where it's like, I have this great idea, but now the producers are changing all of it, or they're having like their agenda that they're pushing into it. So I think that's super important for like your brand to come out and really support and ignite that passion back in independent film.
And one thing I want to say too is that for filmmakers, and yes, producers will often try to, with the control aspect of everything, it's, super important. I know filmmakers want to maintain that control of their art and their creation, and then sometimes investors will come in and be like, well, hold on, that's why you see so many studios, movies being remade over and over and over again, because they know what sells, they know what works. But the studios are a monopoly and they own everything. So they have control of distribution model. They have control of marketing and promotion and television ads and commercials and everything and products that you see from McDonald's to wherever. And independent filmmakers don't have those same opportunities, but we can learn from the studios in how they handle their business. But one thing I want to say, that's why the contracts are so important, because as a director, a writer, a producer, anybody who's on a set, every single thing is negotiable. And you get it in writing and sign it off. Even when it comes to your distribution deal, you run that show. This is your movie. So oftentimes, like my distributor tried to totally control the situation and then be like, forget you, you know what I mean? And never paid a penny, never saw a dime, but I had a $35,000 marketing fee. She looked at all the credits on our big production that we filmed in LA and Florida. And it's a biker-themed action thriller, so this is our stomping ground here, these biker locations here at OCC. But, she looked at all the credits, I learned this later, and saw, oh, well, this could bank upon release, because now you already have your established fan base, and that fan base is based on your cast and your crew of 1,000 people. They're sharing it with grandma, with their mom, with their cousins, with their social media. So the distributor will put on the contract first in monies, goes to me for marketing your movie. And then they write off everything from her travel to her vacation in Cancun or whatever, and tell you I had to buy pens for my office and do all these things. And sure, you can do an audit, but an audit is not going to necessarily solve the problem, because they fudge the reporting and they don't provide the receipts. And it's also learning about how the streaming platforms work, because it's just like having a YouTube channel. If you have how easy is it to build a following on YouTube and monetize that YouTube channel? YouTube is a streaming platform, just like Amazon, just like the rest of them. So if people study these things, and the beauty of YouTube is you can get the analytics. You can get all the details of who your customer is, who your fan base is, who is interested in your movie and your production. And then you take those analytics and you use the same method in self-distribution, or, devising your plan with your distributor for your marketing campaign. So it's really about knowing everything you need to know. Then you have the confidence to slam down the contract and say, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want it done. This is my movie, my money's at stake, or my friend's money's at stake, my mom's money, whatever we got, and it's up to us to pay that back. So that's why it's really important that, of course, everybody works together, and you know how it is. One bad apple on a production can take the whole thing down. So, you want to do everything you can to mitigate the risk, and that's why I did something different. I know there's a lot of products out there for filmmakers, but mine is we take you into all of the books of the movie and what we spent on what our team did. I mean, obviously I don't have names or anything, but it's just about what was spent on what and how this was handled and all the contracts you need to protect yourself. Otherwise, distributors won't pick you up, and the streaming platforms won't pick you up. So that's where, and then we'll separate it off to have a ton of different little courses and programs of information for filmmakers for a real, low cost price. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's very important. Yes, all of those things. No, what you're saying is gold though for filmmakers, because like for people like me, like I don't like math, I don't like that type of stuff. I want to do art, but then when you're put up against people where it's like these people have the money, but they also might have other interests in mind. You don't want to be naive. You don't want to be taken advantage of just because you're an artist. Like for me, I went more into like the legal realm of things because I'm like, there must be budgets in government for filmmakers or artists or supporting the youth, independent, things like that. So I took a legal route and then also an artistic route so that I could try and like make a bridge between the two worlds, because you don't just want to be an artist, because then you're cutting yourself short from the people with money, the people with distribution, everything like that. So for you, did you start out like as an actor and then have moved into like a more directing stance? So tell us about like that type of journey, or like different films that you've been in as well.
I started acting with Andy Lolino's movie Filthy. We did that, I don't know, that was like 2001 or 2002. And that was an amazing experience, and it got me addicted to filmmaking. I've been doing this since a kid, and I know a lot of people can relate. This is just what they're born to do, you know what I mean? And you can't, I've tried to quit many times, trust me. And I'm like, I'm done with this industry, I don't want to come back. And then, of course, somebody called me and went, please, I need you to play this role. And so I will come back because I have to, because for myself, I want to. But, so I started with Filthy, and Filthy traveled the festival circuit around the country and won 23 awards, and I became known for my inbred transient character in that movie, Pussy, with a southern accent, and I was in love with my brother, so it was a really fun character to play. And it was really cool because Andy Lolino and I were in New Jersey at the Chiller convention, and Chiller's a huge convention as well. And I'm sitting there, and there's a line of people all throughout the convention room, and I'm like, what? Andy, they watched the movie. Like, it was my first movie, so I didn't know if anybody would see it or not. I didn't know what to think. And he's like, oh yeah, Krista, there's a huge cult following. So from there, and horror, I love the effects, and I love just the creation of everything. We had such a blast on that. And then I continued to work on movies, and then I went to New York, and I got offered a lot of work after Filthy. And I met the director, Tom Churchill. We did a movie, Emerging Cast, and then from there, continued through her. And so it's been an awesome journey. And then it came to when I did Nation's Fire, and I got the people together and it was interesting because when we got the funding for this movie, it started at $560,000 budget. And at that time, I too was a creative, and I thought, we just hire the appropriate people and delegate them to do the job that they're experienced at doing. And it should be as simple as that. If I own a bank, or and I'm going to hire people to do their job, I don't expect them to steal from me. There's oversight for that. You go to jail. So in the film world, there's no oversight. So as soon as I didn't even think twice about it. I did it, and then it was a union movie. So of course we're shooting on location. I had people calling my phone saying, yeah, Krista, I need you to wire me $10,000 by tomorrow. I was like, who is this? Don't you call me again. I was getting bribed for money all the time. It was a crazy experience. Then I'm on set, and I'm walking by, and there's an arm that comes out of the bushes. I was like, there's somebody in the bushes over here, and it was a Teamster with set. I'm like, why are you in the bushes? Because they're wanting to shut down the production if you have anybody who's non-union. So you've got and then you got to employ everybody who's union in the whole state so that SAG can provide them jobs. Then our distributor never paid a dime, so then I'm seeing, now SAG is calling me, hey, I said, what do you want me to do, just send you off my paycheck, or how do you want to handle this? Because in my contract, it says you have to get a return immediately, and you call the distributor because she took the return and she's fudging the numbers self-reporting. So then he goes, just go ahead and send me your check. I've got all of this in email with a union contact, and I realized he was working with her because I pulled the movie from her, and I was like, no, Lane, you got me messed up. You might scream to all the guys that you work with,
but I know what you're doing. So we're done. So I pulled my movie, and from there, I did it myself. I started Filmmaker Berserk, and I started learning and researching, and so many people, I've had distributors contact me from all over the world because I went to AFM and I spoke. And I'm like, your gig is up, you guys. You can't just do this to people. You know what I'm saying? It's not, somebody's going to put their foot down. And a friend of mine who is 8 million in, he has not, and he does it because he loves making movies and he wants to be a star. And I said, you can't do that. You're going to go bankrupt. Totally, you've lost this much money. And these are movies that we have big names in, but, he's a perfect investor because he just wants to be on camera, so he's a bigger. But those are the things that you've got to be mindful of. And it's like, wow, this is just a total free-for-all, and everybody just thinks you're going to come rob me. Our Oscar-winning sales agent, they charge a six-figure cost up front, and that's when I learned you should do a pre-sale. Don't ever pay anybody up front. It's like those old modeling days where you go to modeling school, and which is stupid because it's not realistic. But he wanted that 6 figures up front and guaranteed a Netflix original or a studio deal. Eventually, we ended up getting a Lionsgate contract after 2 years of rolling us around. 2 years. So I said, okay, let me see this contract. Then he sends me another one where they're the middleman intercepting $150,000 of the $125,000 that license deal that Lionsgate offered. And I was like, are you guys out of your mind? So you're going to take the whole thing? And he goes, well, you're going to have their logo on your movie. It's going to be I don't care. What would I care? I want to make money then. And so I learned it's not about the budget. It's spend, everybody's doing it right. You spend as little as possible. Build your own following, and you're on your own, and that's the way to do with the distributor, and use that distributor to your advantage. Though there are many ways to do that. So that's about all I got right now. I need a break.
So basic. So for all the filmmakers out there, if you don't want to go through hell, take her course. Yes. So go out there to her booth, talk with her some more, and yes, thank you so much for this panel. It was very informative.